There seems to be a recurring theme around real estate. It's been going on for quite a while, and the theme is I'm waiting. First, people were waiting for the crash after prices went crazy, after COVID settled down. Then people were waiting for rates to go down. And now people are waiting for the election. And if I talk to buyers, if I talk to sellers, if I talk to investors, and they're all waiting to see what happens after the election. I say, well, what result after the election will make you feel better and jump into the market, either selling or buying or investing? Is it if Kamala wins? Is it if Trump wins? And nobody seems to know. And if I ask them what outcome they're looking for, they just they don't really know what they're waiting for. They just know that they're waiting. So my friends, I dug into the data. I did the research. I went back and I looked at what happened to real estate prices after elections. I went back quite a ways, back into the 80s. So I've got the data for you. I've got the research. And let's see if your waiting is smart or if your waiting is foolhardy, and see if you're going to get priced out of the market by waiting. Let's get into the research right now.
Shut up and sit down.
Just in case you're new here, this is the Retirement Mentality channel, a place where I want to change your mentality about retirement. I like to do that by talking about investing in real estate. I try to find ideas about early retirement, retiring early, getting out of the rat race that I don't see everybody else talking about. I'm not just using AI generated stupid 5-point lists of how to save money. So if those are things you're interested in, investing, retiring early, reaching financial independence, then you're in the right place, my friends. So how is real estate prices affected by the elections? Now, a lot of people just get scared around election time and they just want to wait. And historically, what happens is real estate just slows down during the month of November during election years. This seems to be a statistic that holds up through as far back as the research goes regarding home sales and elections and the month of November, because everybody wants to see what's going to happen and everybody thinks a new president is going to change the real estate market. So one thing that's for certain, everybody's waiting in November, but September, October, we kind of see a slowdown coming. And so, but what are they waiting for? Is there research we can find? Yes, my friends. I know some of you may just want me to tell you like real estate prices go up or real estate prices go down, but this is not TikTok, my friends. And I have actual research. I have graphs, I have bar graphs, I have data. So let's get into the data first. I'm also going to tell you what some of the industry experts think, like America's Greatest Realtor, Ryan Seahart, from the $1 Million Listing. I've got an interview with him on Fox News, and he's got some predictions as well. But let's get into the data first. Okay, I'm going to pop a graph in here. This graph is U.S. annual existing home sales. So this graph shows that real estate prices have gone up after 9 of the 11 past elections. The only time real estate prices went down, we can look on the graph right here. In 1981, we saw a decrease in the number and the volume of home sales. And if you'll remember, in 1981, that was the beginning of a recession. We had high interest rates that put pressure on the economy. Manufacturing started going down, and it was the beginning of a big recession. And so that is what was happening with the economy in 1981. And the next time it went down was after the election in 88. We saw a decline in home sales, the volume of home sales in 1989. And 1989 was sort of, the economy had been doing good, but it was the beginning of a new recession that was coming into the 1990s. And interest rates in 1989 were at about 10%. So that started to slow the housing market down and slow down sales. But every other election, we see volume going up. You can see in the graph here. Okay, my friends, that's volume, that's home sales volume. But what I said my video would be about was home prices. How do elections affect home prices? So I've got another graph for you. Let's look at this one. I'll pop it in here. This is U.S. annual median sales price of existing single family houses that were actually sold. So this is sold data. And you can see here that home prices went up after 7 of the last 8 elections. And obviously you can see this graph, this one big orange bar sticks out, and we zoom in. Where is that? 2009. Oh, we all know what happened in 2008 when the market crashed. So with the exception of the real estate market crash in 2008, prices went down. But something interesting to note here, look how much prices went down. People think real estate crisis crashed down to like zero, like 100% or 50% in the 2008 crash. And the truth is they only went down about 25%, give or take, depending on the data that you read. And to prove my point, here is some AI data that says Southern California prices dropped 35%, San Diego dropped 25%, And then you scroll down here for a little bit more information. And the Case-Shiller says home prices fell 18.2% in November of 2008 compared to November of 2007. For the whole year of 2008, the index showed a decline of 15.3% compared to 2007. So the 2008 crash, people think it was like 50%, and it was only somewhere between 15.8 and 30%, depending on what part of the country you're in. So when you put that into perspective, the people that have been waiting for this crash to happen ever since prices jumped up after COVID, and prices have gone up another 20% or so since then, prices have continued to increase in almost every market in America. There's a few, San Antonio, Austin, Phoenix, where they really jumped up 70, 60, 50%. There's a few places where they've declined a little bit, 3%, 5%, 7% maybe, but they're not decreasing to make up for any of the gains that they've had so far. And in most of America, real estate prices are still appreciating between 4 and 12%. So every year you're waiting, let's just call it 8, let's call it 10 to make the numbers round and easy. So every year you wait because you think the market's gonna crash, you think interest rates are gonna come down, you wanna see what the election's gonna do. You're getting farther and farther behind as prices go up. There's one more article I want to put in here because as I was doing the research to find these graphs and things, it caught my eye. And this is from everybody's trusted news source, Newsweek. It says, housing market to come roaring back after election, says real estate expert. And the real estate expert is none other than who I mentioned earlier, Ryan Serhant. Ryan Serhant. So this article is from like 2 weeks ago, from the first week in October. And he said, inventory's up, interest rates are at 20-month lows, people are waiting, they want to see if deals are going to come. No one wants to catch a falling knife, but also no one wants to jump into a speeding car. That's what he said to Stuart Varney on Fox News. While current markets have frustrated Americans, Serhant said he's optimistic about where it's headed in 2025. And he said, the quote, I think people are waiting to see what happens in November, and that will take us into a roaring 2025, Serhant said. He said, once mortgage rates hit 5 to 4%, Serhant predicted more liquidity in the market. I don't think they're going to get that low. I don't think we're going to see anything in the 4s. I think we'll be lucky if you see anything in the 5s. Elections often impact the housing market as an administration's new economic policies change a market's confidence level. Interest rates can also change as a result of those policies based on Federal Reserve decisions. And this, my friends, this is the key. I'm going to put my computer down. This is the key. The policies that the new president enacts can change interest rates and can change the market. But what really is a president going to do that's going to change real estate prices? Trump is saying he wants to get interest rates lower. That's one of the main things that he's saying. Kamala says she wants to build 4 million new houses, and we're not sure how she's going to do that or who's going to pay for it, who's going to build them, or what restrictions are going to be on rents. And if they can just make them into short-term rentals, nobody knows. She hasn't really gone into the policy on that. But the point is, if you're waiting for the election, nothing is magically going to happen on November the 8th regarding real estate prices. You're going to have to wait to see, after we see who the president is, then you're going to have to see what policies they enact. It might take a year or two for them to enact any policies that could affect housing prices. I thought when Trump got elected the first time, since he's a real estate guy, that he might do something and change capital gains to make it a little bit more favorable for investors to exit the market, and he didn't do that. I never heard that anywhere else. It's just something I thought he might do. So if you're waiting till November, then the president doesn't get into office till January, and then they have to enact new policies and procedures and laws that could actually get approved and change something. So then the springtime, people are going to be buying houses. The market's going to start to get hot. The data I just showed you shows real estate prices go up after an election year every single year except for one. So if you keep waiting, you're going to see prices continue to go up. And I don't see the advantage, historically speaking, based on my beautiful bar charts that I just showed you, waiting shows you're probably going to pay a higher price the longer that you wait. I welcome your thoughts on this, though. As always, people will tell me that I'm wrong because they only want to hear me say that prices are going to go down. So feel free to leave me any comments you have on what you think the election will do to real estate prices. I'd love to hear your comments. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing that because I predicted there wouldn't be a crash after COVID. I predicted rates wouldn't come down into the 4s and 5s. They haven't so far. I've been right. And now I just did a video about what hurricanes do to real estate prices. If you're interested in that one, you can go see that. And now I've done a prediction on what will happen to housing prices after the election. All my videos are on here to see what my predictions were 3 years ago, 2 years, 1 year ago. And next year, this video will be here to see if I was right or wrong again. So give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me for more wonderful advice. Thanks for watching.